This is a pastel and this is a pastel. But these two materials are extremely different from one another. And in this video, we'll see just how different they are. Hello there everyone, Matt here with thevirtualinstructor.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the differences between oil pastels and soft pastels. And even though these mediums are both referred to as pastels, they're very different from each other. And I decided to make this video because I do get a lot of questions about oil pastels and soft pastels and what the differences are between them. And even some folks ask if you can combine them together. So in this video, we'll clear up all of that and you'll know the differences between the two mediums and also some application techniques and see how they differ there as well. But before we get into that, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet, and also click on the notification bell so you're notified when new videos like this one are uploaded. We're getting close to 1 million subscribers. And although I'm not really into vanity numbers, it would be kind of nice to get 1 million subscribers. So if you've been watching these videos for a while and you haven't subscribed yet, I would encourage you to do so, of course. Now, let's get into the differences between oil pastels and soft pastels. We'll take a look at the differences in the material itself, and we'll also take a look at some of the application techniques and how they differ as well. To understand the differences between oil pastels and soft pastels, we need to start by taking a look at the compositional makeup of each material. And that starts by taking a look at what's called binder. Binder is the material that holds the pigment together. Now, all colored art materials include pigment and binder. Pigment is what adds the color, and binder is what holds the color together. Now, soft pastels feature a gum or methyl cellulose binder. And this is different from oil pastels, which feature an oil and wax binder. Because these two binders are extremely different from one another, the materials are going to behave differently on the surface, and this means that we need to approach using them differently as well. Because of its binder, soft pastels are applied dry. They're noticeably powdery and easily blended or smudged with a finger. This differs from oil pastels, which are applied in more of a wet manner, and they never dry completely thanks to their binder. They're a little bit more difficult to blend with a finger compared to soft pastels. Soft pastels are typically applied to textured papers. The textured surface, of course, allows for layered applications, allowing you as the artist to fill in the tooth of the paper to build up complexity in the color. Oil pastels are most often applied to textured papers, just like soft pastels, but oil pastels, because of their binder, can be applied to virtually any surface, including glass. Typically, oil pastels are more intense in color compared to traditional soft pastels. Because of their similarities to crayons and colored pencils, oil pastels behave more like a crayon when they're applied. You can see here that layering produces some mixing. Soft pastels, however, are more like chalk. They're powdery and loose and easily blended with a finger or blending tool. Oil pastels can also be blended, but typically we don't use a finger to blend them. Oil pastels can be blended using a colorless blender, as you see here, but you can also use painting mediums to blend the material as well. Mediums such as turpenoid or other oil painting mediums will also work for blending oil pastels. Many of the same techniques used for soft pastels can be applied to oil pastels. For example, scumbling and feathering are two techniques used for both mediums. Oil pastels, however, can be scratched and removed from the surface. You can use this characteristic to create textures in the surface or remove oil pastel from the surface completely. Oil pastels can be applied in a thick manner, imitating impasto oil painting techniques. Soft pastels, however, because of their dusty, powdery nature, remain fairly flat on the surface. Because oil pastels are so sticky, you may notice some of the material sticking to other colors of pastels. Of course, when you apply this to the surface, you'll see some contamination. So with oil pastels, it's important to pay attention to the tip of your stick and make sure it's clean before applying it to the surface. Soft pastels, however, don't share this characteristic. You don't really have to worry too much about contamination when you're using soft pastels. Soft pastels effortlessly cover over other applications, much like an opaque painting medium. As you can see here, I'm adding blue dots over the top of a darker blue, and it's easily visible with a very light touch. Oil pastels are also capable of this, but it requires a little bit more effort. With most applications, some of the colors already on the surface will influence the colors that you add on top. Both soft pastels and oil pastels are obviously capable of producing amazing results, which can look like a painting. But it's important to note that even though both of these materials are called pastels, they're typically not used in combination with one another. This, of course, goes back to the fact that their binders are so extremely different, making them completely different mediums. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you click on the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell so you're notified when new videos are posted. And if you want to take your drawing and painting skills to another level, of course, I encourage you to check out the membership program over at thevirtualinstructor.com, which includes a variety of drawing and painting courses on a variety of subject matter and media. And yes, we do include courses on pastels and even oil pastels as well. We have weekly live lessons, which are broadcast live each week and then recorded, and you have access to all of our past recorded live lesson series. There's also weekly critiques as part of the Members Minute, and a year-long curriculum for visual arts teachers. Everything you need to teach is there for you. If you want to check out the membership program, everyone starts out with a week-long trial for free. I'll leave a link in the description below. If you want to just check out 3 of our course videos and ebooks for free, I'll leave a link in the description below for that as well. Thanks again, and as always, I wish you all the very best in your artistic success.